Alrighty, and we are live. Let's just give it the countdown so everyone knows we are live and they're able to join us. Alrighty, welcome. Good evening. Hi, Lillian. How are you?
I'm all right, Lillian. And
Alright,
yourself?
I'm good. I'm doing very well, thank you.
Excellent. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for making the time this evening. I know your schedule is quite packed, but thank you so much for making the time. I appreciate it.
I'm
And
honored and thank you for hosting me.
thank you. To our audience, we do apologize for running a little bit late. Please bear with us. And thank you for being able to join us. I'm just going to jump straight into it in the interest of time. And I'm just going to start by introducing myself and also introducing Lillian. So, my name is Noeline. I am the host of this segment. I am a strategic supply chain leader and a growth mentor. And this is Safe Space. It's a mentorship space where we connect with thought leaders, subject matter experts once a week to mentor us on different topics. This week, we are joined by Lillian Ngala. Lillian, say hi again as I introduce you to the audience.
Hi, everyone.
Alrighty. So I like to read out the mentor's bios so that the audience is able to understand your background and why you are the subject matter expert with us for the week. So I'll go a bit video dark, Lillian, as I read your bio, but I'm still here. So let me introduce Lillian to the audience. Lillian Ngala is a renowned HR director, currently serving as the Director of Human Resources at Diamond Trust Bank. She sits on several boards, including the Africa Human Resources Congress, Kenya Institute of Bankers, KENIC, and National Industrial Training Institute. In addition, she's the founder and CEO of the Lillian Ngala Network, a vibrant community of leaders committed to empowering the next generation of leaders, and the Lillian Ngala Foundation, a nonprofit that builds decent houses for widows, cares for persons with disabilities, runs youth mentorship initiatives, and supports the education of children from underprivileged homes. Miss Lillian Ngala has an MBA and is certified as a professional trainer at the Institute of Human Resource Management. She has also been credited with making considerable contributions to policy formulation, talent management, workforce planning, coaching and mentoring, and culture management, among other HR agendas in Kenya. She has received numerous recognition for her service and her works. In 2024, she has been ranked by France-based platform Favicon as LinkedIn most influential person in Kenya in the HR industry. Still in this year, 2024, she has been recognized as top 100 career woman in Africa by 9 to 5 Chic. In this year again, she has been named Africa Top Leader of the Week by Seamless HR. Last year, 2023, she was recognized by Disruptive People among the top 20 leaders in Kenya. In 2022, she was named Industry Icon of 2023 by Corporate Career Academy. In 2022, again, she was named as People Harm's list of the top 50 leaders shaping HR in Africa. And in 2021, she was recognized by the Nation Media Group as one of the top 20 women making a difference in Kenya. Lillian greatly values integrity, collaboration, communication, and fairness. And she is a champion for compassion, employee wellness, organization agility, and the future of work. This is informed by her belief that to win the marketplace, you must first win the workplace. Side note, Lillian likes to golf on her time off. Lillian, I have introduced you and I am wowed by the number of recognitions you've received. And I think they're simply a testament of all the works that you've been doing and all the contributions that you have made. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Nolene, and I'm humbled to be here today. I'm honored, and thank you so much for that introduction. Um, Viewers, listeners, good evening, good morning from wherever you are. Thank you so much for finding time, for creating time to be with us in this engaging session that we want to just learn and see how we can up our leadership game, because I believe leadership is something that is continuous. Leadership is not what you attain and you stop at that. And it's a topic that I'm so passionate about. Thank you so much, Noelin, for reaching out so that we can have this conversation. So, first and foremost, when they say everything starts and stops with leadership, it is what it is, 100%. Everything starts and stops with leadership. So before we talk about the culture, before we talk about the strategies, before we talk about the state of the art systems and machineries and all that, we must know that leadership, we have a lot to do, a lot of work to put in so that we can go or we can move to the next level and to the next height that you're looking at as an organization, as companies. And that's why I'm quite passionate about this topic, because it is us who can make a difference in those organizations. It's not about how many employees we have or how best the employees are. Because again, you might have a very good workforce, very competent, very energetic. But if you don't have the right leadership in place, then trust me, even retaining those employees will be a challenge. And even not just retaining them, but even the fact that they're there and they're switched on or not switched on will be a challenge. So, ladies and gentlemen, mine is to welcome you. And today, I want us to focus on one key trait. I won't talk about the 33 traits of leadership. There are 33 that are great, but there's the 34th one that is super, super great. That is what I want us to discuss about today. And before I go there, so that I get to know who is tuned in, please just type in where you are listening from, where you're watching us from, so that we get to appreciate you for joining us. Let me see, just type your city, your town, your country, your county. I'm tuning in from Kisumu County as we speak. I travel, and yes, I'm in Kisumu County. The weather is quite hot, you can see from the window. And yes, somebody to just chat us. Let's see if we are where we are tuning in from. Is it possible, Noelin? Do we have that?
Yes, yes, it is. I
Amazing.
can see it from
Amazing.
following on LinkedIn.
Perfect. So they're coming in. People, I can't see any response. Let me see the city, county, country that you're tuning in from, just to appreciate
Nairobi,
you. Nairobi. Thank you very much.
Akron, Ohio, USA.
Amazing. Thank you, Ohio.
Tuning in from Sweden.
From Sweden all the way. Welcome on board. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Eldoret,
Eldoret, amazing. That is just a few kilometers from where I am right now.
Machakos,
Machakos, many, many kilometers. Amazing. Good. Okay, so
Kiambu,
Kiambu, amazing. Very close to Nairobi City. Good. So we will continue, like I said before, it's going to be interactive because that's the only way we can learn from one another. So first and foremost, what is this particular trait that I want to talk about? So we have 33 and there's the 34th one. So we have 34 that are quite great, but there's one that really stands out for me. As a leader, you have to be centered. Centeredness. We talk of leaders who are pragmatic, leaders who are, they're compassionate and all that, but there's one that we need to embrace. There's one particular trait, the centeredness. When you're a centered leader, what does it refer to? A centered leader is a leader who makes you feel secure. Is your team secure? Do they feel safe with you? Do you ignite the fire in them? Do you inspire them? Can they feel your consistency? You cannot be centered if you're not consistent. And out of this centeredness, it's coined around 3 C's. So that I don't lose anyone, the centeredness is coined around the 3 C's. 1 C is the consistency. Are you consistent as a leader? In Kenya, there's this one fruit that has had a very bad name. Anyone who knows the fruit that has a very bad name for the longest time? Watermelon. So you are a leader. Today you are green, tomorrow you are red. Then you are not consistent. And if you're not consistent, you are not centered. You are not balanced. You will create insecurity amongst your team members. You will be unpredictable. Consistency will lead to that centeredness. There's another C that actually coins to the centeredness. The second C is the clarity. How do you communicate? Is your team even aware of your vision? Are they aware of your mission, your why? Are you people driving or championing the same direction? Or your boat is going on the north, their boat is going on the south. How do you communicate? Are you clear enough? Are you communicating your vision and mission in a clear manner? Clarity is very, very important. Apart from that, the consistency also, how do you communicate? How are you consistent with your virtues, your values? Centered leaders are driven by values. They are driven by principles. They are grounded in their mission, their purpose. They are grounded with the impact. They want to create an impact within their team. It's not about results. Remember, leadership is not about the titles, the status. It's not about the ranks. Leadership is about responsibility. You are charged with responsibility of inspiring your team, engaging your team, developing your team, having their backs so that you can get the results through them. Most of the time, we are quick as leaders. We want to obtain the results. But you're forgetting there are people who actually are supposed to be getting those results. What we need to do as leaders is just to empower our teams, is just to make sure we work with them. We are clear in the terms how we are communicating our mission, our why. We are consistent. Apart from empowering them, you are also giving them that authority. They can trust you. As a leader, do you feel that you are trusted? Why is your team not trusting you? Is because you are not consistent with your word. You are so unpredictable. Today you are green. Remember the fruit that has a very bad name in the country, the
Watermelon.
green and red fruit. Nolin, and you want to add something there?
And I was responding and saying, yes, the watermelon. You're one color and two colors at the same time.
Exactly. In the morning, Noeline, you are speaking something else. In the afternoon, it's a different ball game. People cannot trust you. They feel insecure. Centered leaders will make you feel secure. They'll make you feel confident about yourself. You are confident about yourself because they're oozing that confidence. But if you're not confident, your team will also lose that confidence. If you're not predictable, they also miss that predictability. So at the end of the day, whoever said that everything starts and stops with leadership, he got it right. We set the tone, we set the pace. As a leader, you must be confident. That is the third C. Remember, we said there are 3 C's that makes you centered. The first C, let me see those who are listening. The first C that makes you centered as a leader. Let's see. Anybody who was listening, just type in the first C. Remember, we are here just to learn and see how we can up our leadership game. We are all doing okay, but we can get better.
Do I answer or do I wait for them to
Please,
come in? Because I'm also in class.
please type in. Let me see the first C. Loilin can go first. The first C. Keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Consistency.
Consistency. What you say, stick by it, because you're somebody who has values and principles. You can't say, I meant this, then tomorrow, I'm not sure what I said yesterday. I was under pressure. You know, my boss also screamed at me, and therefore I had to change my whatever it's called, my
Tune.
position. Exactly. So then your team will not believe in you. But if you want your team to believe in you, to work with you, it's when you are consistent. Your A is A. And even when things are thick, you can still stand with your A and give your reasoning for that. Thank you very much. I can see everybody's talking about consistency. We have JP Watkins. Thank you very much. I think I've seen Joseph or somebody. They keep good. Thank you. Thank you. So the second C, let me see somebody else. The second C that will make us centered. You enter a room and your team feels like you've arrived and she's here to make us feel safe. Remember, you cannot be trusted if people don't feel safe with you. Have the courage of your convictions. Is very important to build trust with your team. Very good, Watkins. Very true. And I think courage is what now the last one, which is now the confidence. If you do not have the confidence, your team can feel it. They can feel you are fumbling around. They can feel when you're not sure about yourself. You are not sure about your mission in your department. You are not even aware of what is happening. Thank you very much, Christine. Christine is talking about clarity. Very true. Christine, clarity is another one that will make you become centered because you are clear. We all know where we are going as Benedict. Benedict Moka is also talking about clarity. Thank you, Benedict. Clarity, we know where we are going as a team in the next 5 months, in the next 1 year. This week, what are we doing as a team? What is out there? What are the struggles do we have as a team? Can we come together? That clarity is very important of the mission. Where we go wrong as leaders most of the time is there 10 miles ahead, the rest of my team are struggling down there. And even greeting them in the morning is a challenge. So those are the things that we need to start talking about. We need to make them the normal kind of a way of living. Then our departments, our organizations will start flourishing. And you can imagine every leader was centered. Every leader felt secure about themselves. Most of the time, you find that even leaders ourselves, we are very insecure about our team members. It's very unfortunate, but those are the realities that are happening in the workplaces. And therefore, we end up even hoarding information. We hoard even strategies, and you want to give out in small doses. Because if I give my team everything, they might be better than me. You're forgetting the
Gatekeeping.
response. Sorry?
Gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping. You can't afford to be a gatekeeper if you're a leader. Empower, empower. And as you empower them with information and all that, trust me, you'll flourish. At the end of the day, it's your leadership game that is going to be up there, and you'll see the flourishing that you're talking about in those departments. Hoarding, gatekeeping of information and all that. When your team gets better, it's the leader that shines. And never, never allow yourself to be insecure to an extent, even your team knows that you're insecure. Because that insecurity is what now breeds other things that we do not even want to talk about. And then we'll have the challenges with retention because you're not able to connect. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think somebody has talked of clarity. The last one, somebody mentioned, I think that was Watkins. Watkins was ahead of us. He mentioned about courage, which is just confidence. I love that. Confidence is the third one. If you're a confident leader, your team will never be insecure. And remember, centered leaders, they do nurture leaders. They don't nurture followers. When you are not centered, when you are imbalanced, you end up with team members who are unsettled and simply unsettled followers because there'll be yes, yes, and they're waiting for you to lead them. Today we are going to have maybe 75 transactions. Tomorrow it's you making the call. At times, just step back, empower them, give them the information. You'll see what they can do. But centered leaders, what you do is you are nurturing leaders. You'll have many, many Noelines in that department. And you can sit back and give that strategic view that you're supposed to be offering. Yours is to take care of the people. Yours is to take care of the team members. Yours is to make sure you offer that guidance, the compassion side, the compassionate side, the care side. Yours is not to push and drive the results. The people who are driving the results, we all know they are our team members. Let us support them. And that is the only way we can become centered leaders. And that trait number 34, for me, it really stands out because with these three C's, then I'm centered. You are well balanced. You are confident. You are clear. You communicate with clarity. People can understand your why. They can understand your mission, why you exist in that department, what is expected, the goals, objectives. And then lastly, you have that consistency in you. You have their backs. Don't be the leader who is always throwing people under the bus. It wasn't me. I wasn't there. I was leave. I was on leave. It is my team. We've seen such scenarios.
Ask
Where
XYZ.
exactly. Ask XYZ. When you do that to your team members, they are watching you. They are learning. They are picking. Next time, they'll also throw you under the bus. Or what will happen is they'll be very hesitant to make any decisions or to even add value to your department because I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to be thrown under the bus. So I'll rather play safe. If you see your team members have nothing to say in a meeting throughout, you start the meeting and you ask any opinion, any views, any thoughts, nothing. There is a problem.
Truth.
that department, there is a problem because people have so many ideas and you do not have the monopoly of the ideas. It is upon you to make sure that you have an enabling environment where ideas are invited, where ideas can thrive. Ideation is the center of everything. You cannot be the only one who has all that. You can imagine if you have a team of 10 people, or even 20, or even 30, 40, and you're the only one who is shining in that room. There is a problem. All
Yeah.
these 10 heads together, 50 heads together, you can imagine if you're to empower them, if you're to give them that level of security and safe space, they're able to bring the ideas. You can imagine how that department will flourish, or that particular organization, the wonders that you can achieve through the people. Let's work through our people. Let's take care of them. Let's be genuine. Let's be authentic. But above all, remember to be centered within the three C's that coins to the big C, which is the centeredness. I can see somebody saying something here. JP Watkins is saying, agreed. If you toss your team under the bus, you will lose the confidence of your team. 100%, JP. Because again, they don't want to go through that experience. So next time what we'll do is we'll fold our arms, we wait for the boss to show us the way. Because again, I don't want to be thrown under the bus. So ladies
That's
and gentlemen,
excellent.
leaders, yes, Noeline, go ahead.
Sorry for cutting you short. As you're speaking, my take is that the team goes into self-preservation mode because you don't want to be, roadkill. You never know
Yes.
when the bus will just cross with you.
I like that bit, the analogy. The bus might cross or run over you.
Mm.
So you rather play safe in your corner and anything I do not know. And then you wait for your paycheck at the end
Yeah.
of the month. And as
Mm.
you're waiting for the paycheck, you also wait for another competition that could actually be lucky to have you. Do you want
Yeah.
that as a leader? Of course not. Let's work with our team members. There is so much that you can achieve when you work together. When we work for them by building them, nurturing them, taking care of them, they'll take care of the business. They will take care of the departments when we just give that window. Somebody, yeah, what is still talking about the empowerment, very true. And then you'll create successors. Yes, very true. Like I said before, you'll be creating many Noelines and JPs in that department. So that is not just you who is the brightest in the room. When you're the
Yeah.
brightest in the room, there's a problem, Noeline.
Mm.
Actually, I
Sure.
like it when I enter the meeting room and you just do nothing. Like you just listen to the ideas. It's amazing. And then you consolidate all those ideas into one big thing. But it can't be you from the start to the end.
And yeah.
It means you've not empowered them, or you are insecure, therefore you do not want to empower them, or you have the wrong team and you've refused to upskill them and reskill them. And I don't believe in a bad team. I don't prescribe to that. If the team is limping, actually the leader is equally limping. So as a HR practitioner, if a HOD tells me my team is limping, I don't have a good team, I'm struggling, it is you is limping, on the contrary. Because it's either you have the wrong team, but what have you done? Have you upskilled them? Have you reskilled them? If you've done all that, are they empowered? Do you hold them accountable? Because again, empowerment without accountability, again, there is a problem there. So people want to feel all that combined, then you'll say you are centered. Be centered. When you are centered, your team will not be secure. Your team will not feel the unpredictability. They will not feel like there's a competition amongst themselves. There's nothing wrong with competition, but there's an unhealthy bit of it that is really toxic. And most of the time, like I said before, everything starts and stops with the leadership. You can't say I have a wrong team. People are always fighting one another. Where have you been as a leader?
That's
You,
true.
that is the environment that you've cultivated. That is the environment that you've allowed. When you show them that here we are all here, sorry, we are all here for one agenda. We are all here for one goal. Trust me, you'll see how the team members are working together with a lot of cohesion, a lot of inspiration. Everybody wants everybody to excel because they know they're one, they speak with one voice. Noeline, over to you. If there are any questions, we can take up. Mhm.
I want to ask Lillian if we are to just self-auditing, having taken into account what you said about being centered as a leader, being a key leadership skills, and breaking it down on consistency, clarity, and having the courage. If as a leader, I'm listening to you right now and I'm thinking, I've not been consistent. So my
Mm.
team, from what you just said, my team just checks all those boxes. Okay, they are keeping quiet, and we are asking ourselves, how do I develop consistency with my team? And also asking then, how do I develop clarity? How do I develop the courage, even just for my team to be able to speak up? How do we develop all this?
Very good question, Eileen. First and foremost, if you want to become centered, like just I think you've mentioned all the three C's together, what happens is you have to be vulnerable as a leader, whereby you are able even to take feedback even before you start anything. Today, as you're seated here, just do a very quick check because you know yourself better. But even your team members, be as vulnerable as you can. Just find out what can I improve on. And by doing that, you'll find that maybe two things they'll pick out of you. Maybe you're not consistent. And if you're not consistent, as Nelina, as you put it, what we need to do is now stick by your word. Remember, what are your values? Are your values aligned with the departmental values? What do you stand for? If it's HR, the department, you want to create an environment where every staff feels respected, valued, and loved. So, do you stand for all that? To start with this particular team, do they even feel like that? Maybe it's customer service. What do you stand for? And then there's the personal values. Are they aligned? So consistency for me, how I look at it is whatever I said, can I keep my word? Can you keep your word, Noeline? Can I say that I care? Do I look like I care? When was the last time I said, good morning, Noeline? Noeline, sorry. Good morning, Noeline. How you doing? How's the little one? Let's just get outside work a bit at times. When was the last time I even just sat with the team and just had maybe peace a moment? There's nothing wrong with that. That's the only way we recharge and recheck on one another. So if you're talking about consistency, are you consistent in terms of your actions and your words? You
Okay.
say you care, but how are your actions? Do you really care? When I call you to tell you my baby is unwell, I will be reporting 1 hour later or 2 hours. How do you respond? Is yours to ask me where is the paper file number 50? Where is it? Where did you place it? Who is going to work on that file now that you're coming in the afternoon? Is that the response that I get from the other end? Then I'm not consistent with my values.
Mm.
Number one. Number two, I'm consistent. You'll be consistent when you can keep your word as well. So there's the action matching your words. And there's also the consistency whereby what you said yesterday is what you're saying today. I can't come and say, oh, yesterday, I had a very bad morning. My husband, my whatever, I didn't have a very good morning. That's why I lashed on you. There's something wrong. I'm not consistent. So, or maybe that is why I'm not able to, I can't remember what you said. Consistency for me is keeping your word. Start by keeping your word. We agreed we're going to do this meeting in the afternoon. Let's do it. It's going to be a difficult conversation. Let's have it. You're consistent. But we can't say, I meant this because I meant the other one. And that's why this melon and the green watermelon,
The
they
watermelon.
yes, people can't know where you stand. Today is a yes, tomorrow is a no. We don't know where you stand. We don't know what you stand for. Consistency is very, very key, whereby what you've agreed with or on can actually, I can trust you that even next year, my boss will stand with me and just say, yes, this is what we agreed on. We agreed on a promotion. If I attend this, can we sit down and have that conversation? You can't come and start saying, I can't remember the last time we had this conversation. My head was, there's a problem. You're not
We're in the
consistent.
middle of budgeting and what, so I did not remember. And other fun excuses.
Exactly. You're not consistent. What we'll do, Noeline, you'll give me that promise next time. I will think twice because what Noeline says and what Noeline does, totally different worlds. Then you lose credibility. And the moment you lose credibility as a leader, and if you see all I'm talking about, I love Cs. For me, Cs actually the
Yes.
mother of Cs. Cs, trust me, credibility, if you lose it as a leader, it will take you ages to build it back. And especially with your team, you are not credible enough when you can't keep your word, when you can't honor your word, you can't you're not just trusted, and therefore people will never be there also to support you. Like we said, we are not in charge of results, we are in charge of so that we can actually attain the results through them by being compassionate to them, by being kind, by empowering them, by giving them all the support that we should give them in order to achieve. But we can't achieve both. You can't be chasing numbers. I see that a lot with the with the business. You want to chase the numbers, you want to chase the people. It can't work. You will never have that sweet spot. The sweet spot is at the middle when you take the people and just say, I am here to support you. How do I support you? How do you attain these numbers? What is missing? What are the challenges? What are the obstacles? We are heading here. This is the you have that vision with a very clear mindset, with that clear kind of game plan. This is where we are headed to. So how do we go there? How do I support you to attain these numbers? Is how, not how do you support me? It's how do I support you? And
Servant leadership.
everybody, servant leadership, Noeline. And everybody likes that. When you tell me how do I support you to get that, I will actually tell you, these are my challenges, ABCD. I'm a morning person. Allow me to have my clients meetings very early in the morning, and then I come to the office. Or I'm an evening person. So allow me to do ABCD. Now we are talking, we're having a conversation. But remember, everything starts and stops with leadership.
True.
It's not the people to create the environment. It is us leaders to create the environment for them so that they can thrive. I can thrive. The organization can thrive. There is no organization that can thrive if the teams are not thriving. So let's start with the teams. How about
Thriving.
you?
Oh, I like what you just said. I think my biggest takeaway from how you have led us on developing the skill of consistency is be anchored in values so that you don't have a disconnect between what you say is your value and what you're actually living out. And I think you're also talking about acting and speaking in integrity. So there is no divergence between what you're saying and what you're doing. Two key takeaways. To the audience, please do type in what your key takeaways are and do type in your questions for Lillian. I will project them on the screen and she will address them as we proceed. Now, Lillian, the second one, clarity. You find yourself as a leader when you give instructions and the whole team is like, and you ask, are we clear? And there's silence. But when you circle back at the end of the week, you realize, hold up,
You're speaking to yourself.
yeah, there's zero progress, or guys went out and did totally different to what you thought should have been done. So how do we develop the skill of clarity?
Remember, Noeline, even the fact that they cannot tell you that you're speaking to yourself, we can't understand what you're saying. Noeline, there's a problem. We want to start with that. Because first and foremost, we can't wait till the end of the maybe evaluation process or the end of the year when you're now doing evaluation or the reviews. That's the time they tell you, but this was not clear. It means you've not created that environment where people can challenge what you're saying by just saying, excuse us, I think this point, maybe we could do it differently. So even that clarity, if nobody can tell you that you're not clear, there is a challenge there. But back to your question, how do you develop that clarity skill, or how do you develop that communication whereby you can communicate clearly and everybody can work with you? One is understanding your subject. When you understand what you're talking about, Noeline, the way you'll name it, the way you'll talk about it, everybody will understand. But yourself, you are struggling. Therefore, even giving that information, you'll not be able to give it. Because you'll be like, okay, I thought we are doing 8, I don't know. No. Come out clearly. And you can only come out clearly with confidence if you understand what you're talking about. And this is something I keep telling leaders. Always have this mindset, the growth mindset, whereby you're always curious. You remember my C's, I'm going back to curiosity. You're always curious in learning, understanding your area. If it's HR, if it's marketing, you're always above board. By doing that, you're able to communicate clearly and in a clear manner. Otherwise, Irene will be struggling because even yourself, you are not sure of what you want. Communication will only be effective. Clarity of vision will only happen if you understand what you're talking about. So for me, developing yourself by growing and nurturing and being a master of your area, that is number one. And how you can do it, just to nail what you've asked for, try and research as much as possible. Try and learn as much as possible. Most of the time we do not learn. We are too tired to do all that. And then we still want to carry the vision. We still want to carry the flag. We can't do that if you're not able to understand your subject inside out. Understand your vision inside out. Develop that skill through learning, through embracing that growth mindset as a leader. You can't say I did my MBA 20 years back, 15 years back, and you still want to catch up with the Gen Zs and the Gen Ys in your department, you'll have a communication breakdown. You will not be clear. And that's why anytime you speak, they have to go in a small corner. And what was she saying? Okay, what was that?
Remix what you were saying
Yes,
and try to understand.
exactly. What was all that? You don't want that. You want by the time you're finishing a meeting, we are all together, we are all on the same page. And what is not clear, we can actually challenge one another and we go smiling, knowing that this is my cut, this is what I'm doing, and this is how all this is point to the department or to their whole success. Lean growth mindset for me works in a magic way because you keep learning. And as you keep learning, you have that confidence of being clear in everything that you're articulating. You cannot be articulate if you're not understanding that subject.
So, Lillian, if I may ask, is this where, I hear people saying if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, then even you don't know what you're saying. Is this where that comes in?
100%. 100%. Because what happens is if you're able to explain something to actually is normally to a 2-year-old Noeline, I think you've added some 3 years there.
Okay.
If you can break it down, Noeline, to even a 2-year-old, then there's a problem. So you're able to communicate at that level, you're able to communicate at the board level because you understand the subject inside out. But how do you understand the subject inside out? By being curious, by adapting the growth mindset, and by just knowing that learning is continuous. What I learned yesterday, Noeline, today is irrelevant. Trust me. I've told you there were 33 traits of leadership. Now you're talking of 34, and centeredness is just something. And as we speak, I think there is high road and something coming up. So yeah, you're always out there just learning and acquiring those skills so that you're able to articulate what you're articulating to your team members with confidence. But that confidence can only come if you're clear in articulation.
Thank you. Thank you for unpacking that so clearly and even giving guidance. Because the biggest takeaway for me for clarity is continuous learning.
Yes.
Continuous learning, continuous learning.
Mm-hmm.
The last one okay, they're not C, you have actually added credibility and then. So I'll just ask about the one for courage. But before I go into that, I want to read what JP Watkins is saying. And he says, insightful vulnerability illustrates emotional intelligence. Putting the team first, focus on supporting your team by being consistent, not a watermelon. He's laughing. There's an LOL in there. Setting clear expectations and do not throw your team under the bus.
Exactly.
Thank you, JP, for engaging. And to the audience,
JP, thank you, JP, for that summary. I think it's just wrapped up the class in a very excellent manner. Yes, watermelon. You can't afford to be a watermelon if you're a leader. Please do not become one. I think I'll still say it starts and stops with leadership. Any environment that you want to create, it is us. We can't talk about my organization, my team is this, my whatever. It is us to just say, what do I want to see in this team? Do I want to see an engaged team? Do I want to see a team that is enthused, a team that is fired up, charged up, and is always there to deliver? It stops with you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good stuff. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Lillian. The other C, the third C on courage. How do we develop courage? And I'm going to ask the question that is usually asked behind the scenes in my DM, in my WhatsApp. If there is a culture of retaliation against speaking up, and basically a space where there isn't psychological safety for people to speak up, how as a leader do you then start cultivating, and nurturing an environment where everyone has the courage to speak up, and even you as a leader have the courage to stand by your convictions?
I like the question because one, I'm a proponent, and it's a proponent of courage, or rather speaking up, or speaking up and speaking out. Why do I say a proponent? I'm a proponent and promoter of speaking out and speaking out and speaking up. Why do I say so? It's because I believe when you give people a chance to air their views, to air their feelings, trust me, that is when we talk of having them feeling respected, having them feeling valued and loved. You cannot have these three if your spirit or your environment does not allow people to speak up.
Yeah.
And how you can cultivate this is by just calling your team members at times, or even the team that you have, any opportunity that you have, to just encourage people to speak up. What challenges are you facing? How can we fix this thing? Because you know at the back of your mind, you are not perfect. No one is perfect, neither am I. And that's why we need to keep asking these questions. What can I improve on? How do I help you? What is not working? Therefore, you're telling them it's okay to speak up. It's okay to speak out. And then when they speak out and speak up, be quick to action. Most of the time, we allow them to speak up, speak out, and then we go and say, okay, now sorry, they have talked, so what next? That's where we go wrong. Can you action? What have you put in place? Whatever they raised with you, if they're beyond your means, can they believe, or they're beyond your reach, or beyond your capability in terms of solving them? Can they trust you that you will escalate to management, that you will escalate to board? Do they have the proof? Can they trust you?
Yeah.
And this is what I teach leaders at my own capacity when I have the time to do so. I tell them, encourage people to speak up. And when they speak up, do not sit on those issues. Be the first one to say, hey, management, colleagues, board, these are the things that staff are going through. Can they trust you that you do deliver on that? Because remember, there are things, Nolene, that are above your company, they're above your space or
Yeah.
domain, but you need to escalate. So do you even escalate? So by doing that, you'll be encouraging people to speak more. You'll be encouraging them to speak out. But number one, you don't ask. Remember, you need to be vulnerable by asking, so you don't ask. And even when you are asking because Noeline or Lillian said you ask. You are not doing anything.
Pick
You
the
are not
box.
taking any action. You are ticking the box. Can you show them that actually this has been done and this is where we are? Can you come back and give feedback?
Mm.
And just say, hey, team, this has been escalated to this office. This is where we are, and this is how you're going to do it. Oh, this is the timeline. Then they'll start trusting you. They will be giving you more and more. And really, let me tell you, there's nothing as good as solving a problem before it becomes a mountain. When it's still a molehill, then you are able to contain it. Because most of the time, what happens, we leave everything. Remember, perception is a reality.
Yeah.
The moment people perceive you to be a liar, the moment people perceive you to be incoherent, you're not just the person they can trust, it becomes a reality. That's who you are, because that's what they know you for. But if they know that you have their backs, and whatever you say you stand with, you are saying that you're a promoter and a proponent of speaking out and speaking up. Do you deliver on that? Do you give people that chance? And when you give them, do you take those measures that we've talked about?
You have
And where
followed.
you're not able to deliver on, what have you done?
Mm.
Really, by doing that, you'll be cultivating a culture of openness. And that's why you find some leaders, when they're having town halls,
Mm.
every person will be opening up and talking. No, lean, you show in and you want people to talk to you. Nobody's interested. They'll fold their hands, and we have no issue. We are okay.
Mm.
Reason
Maliza
because
twende.
we know
Sorry.
we know
Wait, I need to
no,
translate. Oh, sorry, I just jumped in there and spoke Swahili. I need to translate. Maliza twende means wrap up, we
exactly.
go. We
Wrap
move
up,
on.
move
Mm.
on. Because we know Nolene is here to tick the boxes and
Mm.
therefore continue ticking. We are not interested. But another person enter Nolene B, comes in, and they're like, you know what? This is what is happening. We work late, we do ABCD, and ABC. Can you come up with a solution? They trust you. You built that credibility. They know you can deliver. And like I said, at times, some things will be outside the domain's leaders. I will testify to that, because at the end of the day, we are not running the show like single-handedly. We also
Yeah.
have stakeholders. And even when the stakeholders cannot be in the bus together at that time, I think you talked about how you do manage a situation whereby you can speak up, but you don't get that window, or you are not embraced.
Mm.
In terms of you don't get the feedback that you want as a leader, maybe. What you do, Noeline, what I believe in and what I've seen work, when you're genuine, when you're authentic, when you're sincere, and you continue pushing the agenda in the right direction, and people can see how passionate you are and your conviction in that particular matter. Nolene, let me tell you, at the end of the day, you will be smiling. Why do I say you'll be smiling? Because everybody will be joining that bus with you. Your stakeholders will join hands with you. But if you are giving up, as a leader, never give up. If what you stand for, remember what you said before, once you're confident and you have this conviction, you're able to keep pushing. So as you push along, everybody will see what you're talking about. And your credibility is what will make you differentiate yourself from the rest, because they can see how convicted you are, how passionate you are, and why you are sharing or you are pushing for this agenda. And you're very clear in your vision. Your clarity also makes sense to them. With time, they'll all be in the same bus with you. So mine, maybe to answer that particular question of how do you attain that speaking out and speaking up, is by asking for feedback, acting upon those feedback, and where you can't act, do the escalation, do follow up. Noeline, come back to us. Tell us, what is the feedback? When are we getting this? And why can't we get it as well? Because again, Noeline, telling somebody a no is not the issue. That no, attach it to the why the no is a no. Attach it to something. Don't just come and say, no, it's not possible. It's not possible. Why? So explain that. Then people will see your why. The same as stakeholders. You want the stakeholders to buy your idea, show them the why. They'll be able to. So how you communicate also, are you communicating with clarity? They'll be able to board the bus or not. So don't give up, even when the things are not very friendly. I think you talk about retaliation. Retaliation should not make you become a watermelon, because you say, I want peace. I want to be the good girl and the good boy. I don't want to rock the boat. At times, you just have to continue rocking the boat, but in a good way, in a respectful manner. Other stakeholders will see where you are coming from. Actually, they'll even join your club, and you'll have a very beautiful world as you continue pushing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lillian. As I'm listening to you, I'm getting that for this, for courage, there has to be a demonstrated track record of creating the space for people to speak up. And also as a leader, having the courage to, how do you say, escalate the issue or present the issue to senior leadership if it needs, that needs to be done. Oh wow, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm seeing in the comment section. I like what's going on in the comment section. I'll show
Let's read
you.
them. Let's read them.
Let me show you, because somebody put a comment and they got a response almost immediately. Outside the main discussion, hi Lillian. I've been making an effort to improve my English, though I'm not as fluent as I'd like to be yet. If you have any suggestions, I'm all ears. Before you respond, Lillian, let me show you what happened in chat.
Yes.
Somebody immediately jumped in and decided to help this person and say, I work with international students to improve their business and corporate English.
Yes.
Contact me on LinkedIn. I'll gladly help you. JP, you're a star. Thank you so much for
This is
being willing to help Vincent. Lillian, over to you. Do an add on.
Vincent. That was Vincent, the first one. JP, we really
Yes.
appreciate you for. I think JP needs to win an award tonight. I don't know what we've got, but maybe in the next session we should think of JP. Anyway, JP, we appreciate you. And let's go back to Vincent. So Vincent is talking about his English not being perfect. Vincent, nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the imperfections. Focus on what you're good at. Focus on your strengths. They will outshine everything else that you're talking about. The English is neither here nor there. What is there is your clarity, is your conviction, and your credibility that you'll build along the way. The more you speak that language, the more you take up the classes with JP. JP has offered to give you some classes. You'll get
Yes.
better, but don't focus on the imperfections. Because if everybody was to look at the imperfections, the world will never move. The world will just be static. Everybody has a struggle in one way or another. There's a leader struggling maybe with the hostility, and they're just born like that. But they would love, actually, they even love how you're compassionate, maybe. So they don't know how to. So everybody has something they're struggling with. The moment you know that, then I think he's added something. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, it's still the same. So what I want to encourage you on, Vincent, and every leader who is here, let's not concentrate on the factions. Let's concentrate on what we are good at and how we can improve on those imperfections. Because when you focus on them, they hinder us from focusing on the good things that we can give to our teams or the good, perfect qualities that we can actually give back to the world. Remember, a good leader is about impact. A good leader strives about inspiring and empowering others. And at the end of the day, is the impact, is the legacy. What am I leaving behind? I'm not going to leave the best English that I spoke in high school. I'm not going to leave behind the English that I used to say in the boardroom. It's how I made people feel about themselves, Vincent. That's what matters at the end of the day.
True.
Can they come and say, wow, there was somebody here by the name Noeline. There was a Vincent in this office. There was a Lillian once upon a time in this office. This is what she made me become. This is who she empowered me to become. What will they say about you? They will never remember you for those big jargons, English or whatever. No, 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 no. Nobody's interested. Gitea, Vincent, I want to encourage you. Focus on the beautiful things that you can offer the world, you can offer your organization. I'm sure there are lots of them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lillian. And I absolutely must commend you, Lillian, because even how you are guiding him with kindness. There's a way to deliver information. And I love the fact that you have delivered this to him. You have guided him with a lot of kindness, focusing on the good rather than on the improvement points per se. Thank you so much for that. We have feedback for you, Lillian, from Robert.
Wow.
Robert says, great insights as usual, Lillian. Clearly shows you hold a growth mindset.
Hi, Robert. Good to see you here. And thank you for the feedback. Yes, growth mindset is a necessity for every leader. Well, let's nurture it. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. We have more feedback. Matilda commenting on, just affirming on the comment about consistency. Give me a moment. Consistency.
Yes,
Affirming on the comment about, and the guidance about clarity. Then we have Nerea. Nerea is asking, will this recording be uploaded after? Yes, I think in about 5 minutes after the end of the mentorship session, it should be available. Lillian, another comment for you.
Okay.
I love this. Very insightful, Lillian. Too much learning here.
Thank you, Gerald. Thank you. I think I saw Caroline. Thank you very much, everyone, for those positive feedback. Appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. Then we have one JP saying, yes, focus on communicating clearly, not perfectly.
Exactly. Nobody's perfect. We are all struggling in one way or another. What you need to do is just focus on the good side. And yes, the clarity is more important than the perfections. I agree with you, JP. Thank you very much.
I think it's part of the human experience, Lillian, like continuous learning. Is this part of being human?
It's part of being human, Nolene, because at the end of the day, like I said before, what I knew 5 years back is no longer relevant. So we need to keep learning. And I think Robert put it so well, Robert Bailey, about just embracing that growth mindset. You can't afford to be stagnant because the world is moving very fast. You've seen what has happened in the technology space. So what is relevant yesterday is not relevant today. So how do we catch up in terms of us as leaders? Because again, our teams also, they're not these people of yesterday, of many years back. They keep learning, so we need to catch up with them as well. So yes, continuous learning, growth mindset. You're always seeing a glass half full, not half empty.
Half empty, yes. We have a comment from, I do not want to mispronounce your name, so I'll read the second one, Adam G. And his feedback is enjoying the discussions and responses given.
Thank you, Jose. Glad you joined in.
Thank you so much. Vincent, in recognition, says, thank you so much for your kind words, Lillian. They've really lifted my spirits. Oh,
wow. Happy to know Vincent, and trust me, we are here to encourage one another. We are here to inspire our teams, we engage our teams. So it starts with us. If we're inspired, then you can't give what we don't have.
True.
So you'll be pouring from a full cup. So let's be inspired, let's be engaged, then we'll do the same to our team members. Thank you, Vincent. Happy to know that you're inspired. Thank you.
All righty. From Christian, Lillian, I get so much inspiration from you, especially on people management.
Wow, Christine, thank you. We can do this together. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate the feedback.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Teresia says, the more you practice, the more you learn to perfect.
Exactly. Very true, Teresia. When the more you do them, the more you become perfect. But remember, if you focus on the imperfections, what will happen? You will stagnate because you won't want to be known that you're not good at it. You need to become vulnerable with that spirit of growth mindset and the vulnerability. Yes, that word. Be able to continue practicing, and practice makes you perfect. Yes. Very true, Teresia. Thank you for your great add-on.
I like what you said, Lillian, when you started responding to Teresia about gratitude. And I think one of the things that we do unconsciously when we focus on the imperfections or the growth areas, if we could call them that, or the gap areas, if we could call them that, is robbing ourselves of the opportunity to see what we are doing well. You focus so much on the gap that you forget I'm actually good at ABCD, or if I was at 10%, I'm now at 13%.
True.
It's still an improvement that should be celebrated.
Mm. Very true.
Okay. Joseph says perfection comes with experience.
Very true. Amazing. Yes.
And he adds, I don't know if this is he or she. Let me say
Mhm.
they add on and say, even with 30 plus years experience, I am still learning.
Yes.
This is absolutely wonderful that you're
Amazing. And
able to.
these are the types of leaders that you're talking about, the leaders who are centered because they know you need to keep improving, you need to keep developing yourself. And there's a question that you asked Noelin, I think before prior to this conversation. You asked whether leaders are born or made.
Yes.
Trust me. Noelin, even the leaders who are born, because you can be born so charismatic and all that, those who have the confidence from the time they're year one, year two, you can even tell from your house, the kids were just confident, and then the ones who are opposite. But even the leaders who are confident by birth and all that, you still need to make yourself. So leaders are actually made to answer you, because even the ones like now Jusa is saying, even with his 30 years, he's still learning. He still has that growth mindset. So you cannot say leaders are born and that's it. If you don't nurture, if you don't develop those traits, trust me, you will go nowhere. But if you keep developing those traits, yes, you're confident, but how confident are you? What are you delivering with that confidence of yours? Because your confidence could be bordering arrogance. But by developing, by growing, by nurturing, you can tell between what is arrogance and what is confidence. You have to practice, you have to do all that, you continue learning. Yes, growth mindset is important. Continue learning. Jusa, thank you so much. You're one of the leaders that we celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jose and Lillian. Bernadette says, we learn and relearn every day. Thank you for the session, Lillian Baraka.
Thank you, Bernadette, and Barakatele to you as well. Thank you, Bernadette.
Thank you so much to the audience. Keep the comments coming in. Lillian, I want to ask you a reverse question.
Yes.
Because when you're thinking about it peer to peer, we're sitting in a group as leaders, supposing the same level, peers in leadership, and you're seated and wondering, okay, how do I give my colleague feedback that they are lacking in consistency or clarity or courage? How do we do this? How do we give this feedback to our other colleagues or even friends in a way that is subtle, kind, to the point, but also helping them to recognize and improve these areas?
A very, very good question. So a very good question, Eileen. First and foremost, how you rephrase or how you put your question or concern across matters a lot. So first and foremost is put yourself in that person's shoe. The last thing you want is somebody to be so harsh to you. How you can do it is by embracing compassion. Be compassionate, even as you're delivering that message. Because where we go wrong is we want to correct you, but you're correcting me because we know better than you. No, you don't know better than you. We don't know better than you. To the contrary, maybe what you know you are bringing, what you've gone through, your traumas, whatever it is, has made you what you are. And that's why you're even hostile to your team members. Therefore, I need to put myself into your shoes and how I'm communicating to you, my peers, my maybe people from the same level, fellow directors and all that, how I coin my question, how I coin my feedback to you, because staff will come and share with you. How do I coin that feedback to you? Do I make you feel bad about yourself? Is that my agenda? Of course not. My
Yeah.
agenda is to make you better. My agenda is to make you a better leader. And therefore, if I come with that harsh tone and all that, and to make you look like rebuke you and the worst thing that ever happened in the organization, I'm not helping you. So, how you coin your feedback in terms of your tone, in terms of your even the way you put your words together, the choice of words, Noelin, choice of words do matter. Can I
Yeah.
first appreciate you and then now come with this feedback? There's something good about you, Noelin, in as much as something is wrong and everything is looking so gray and black. I'm sure there's something good about this person. Can you start with that?
Mhm.
Emotional intelligence will tell you to be in that person's shoes before you can even go to the bigger. So what I've seen work for me is the choice of words, the
Mhm.
tone, and even the environment. Where am I going to have this conversation? I'm not going to have it in the corridor together with your team members.
Mm.
I'm going to look for a particular atmosphere. I'm going to look at the choice of words. This is happening and it could be better. You see, I've already chosen how to, like, I think somebody talked about their English and all that. It doesn't matter. There's something good about that person. There's something
Mhm.
good about that particular leader. So, yes, in your department, you are one of our key figures. You know, you deliver on numbers, blah, blah. However, you see, I've already chosen the path. For me, how you communicate. Do you communicate with kindness? Do you communicate with compassion? Do you
Mhm.
care about the receiver of that bad news? Remember, everybody's struggling. I don't know what they're struggling with because I could also be struggling. So the moment you know that, you'll be able to handle people with a lot of caution, with a lot of care and love. Remember, in organization, just try to nurture respect, love, and value. How do you value people? Do you value that particular leader? You value them because number one, Noeline, you've said that you're peers. So
Mm.
it means for them to be where they are, they have worked hard for them to
Yeah.
be there. So value them at that level. Number two, there's respect. How are you giving that communication? Are you giving that feedback? But above all, that is the time for your self-awareness trait to kick in. Are you
Mm.
aware of who, what, why you are speaking and to who are you speaking? I don't know if you get there, the self-awareness, the
Yes.
five W's, the four W's, those W's. So
Mm.
that's the time to make sure you're driven by them. Whereby I say, I'm talking to Nolene, so who is Lillian? She's a director. Okay. Why am I talking to her? Because I want her to improve. It's not because I want her to feel bad. So then I'm going to choose the right words for her. I'm not going to say you are the worst thing and everybody's complaining about you. Not at all. Nolene, there's some areas that I think you need to work on. And this is how I'm going to help you to work on. So I've already changed my tone. So who, why, what, very important. And when. Nolene, I'm not going to come to the office in the middle of the meeting and I'm like, can I see you now, Nolene? People are
Mm.
complaining about you and you're very rough and you're very rude and you don't love people. Not at all. I think it's just to strike the balance of the five W's or the four W's.
Thank
But
you.
all in all, self-awareness as a leader is very important. Emotional intelligence, you can't wish it away, ladies and gentlemen, because all that will make you thrive in whatever you are doing, be it your workplaces, be it your business, be it even your family life.
Mhm.
Are you able to allow that emotional intelligence hat? Can you wear it comfortably as and when so that you're able to feel each and every person and know how to communicate clearly and all that?
Thank you.
Time
Oh,
is
I
up.
feel like you've just compacted a masterclass. Yes, we're almost out of time. Would you
Just
allow
a
me
minute.
to
You can go ahead. You can
ask
go ahead.
this one question? Yes, it's a question. The rest are comments and recognitions.
Mhm.
Nerea is asking, could you please touch on personality versus leadership? Does one affect the other?
To a great extent, yes. Nerea, very good question. And to a great extent, yes. Because your personality can also make you a great leader or a leader who is not great. And therefore, that's why we talked about continuous learning. To some people, leadership just comes automatically. And from the time they were in primary, they were the class prefects, they were the head boys and the head girls. And anywhere they would walk into a room, you'll see students just loving them, or the vice versa. Some will be head girls and head boys, but very rough ones. So for me, I think what I've seen is leadership, personality also has that effect. The personality can make it easier for you. You know how to gel with people because emotionally you are stable, you are self-aware, you have all this, you're passionate, you're able to gel with people, you're able to inspire people naturally. Even you don't struggle.
Mm.
You chances you are able to just collect and work with the people easily because that's your personality. Remember, we have the greens who are the empaths. We
Mhm.
have the yellows who are the sunny side. They're always happy people. They
Mm.
enter the room and the room is just bubbling. Even in a dull room, they're like, hey guys, what's happening? We're not in a funeral. And everybody just cracks up. Then we have the reds. You'll really have to fine tune them to be in the same mood as you. So those are the things that personality traits. I will not go to them only next time. We'll go into them. We'll go learn them,
Yeah.
the colors, how it works, and
Mm.
why they really have a direct correlation with how we lead people. And
Mhm.
Nerea, back to your question, we need to ensure that if I'm struggling with the green area, I'm not an empath, I don't feel people, I have no feelings, I have no emotions. Come to work, all I want is the numbers. Don't tell me about the sick child. Because even me, I need to deliver to the board. Board is asking for numbers. So you're not gonna come here to you get, I hope everybody's following what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Yes. So what is there is then it means I have to develop, I have to be intentional about developing my green side. I have to be intentional about developing my yellow side. Maybe God, I was not given that gift. So it's high time I develop that personality. Those personality traits are they're trainable, they're teachable, they're learnable. We can learn them. Like I said before, leadership is born or made. For me, it is made. I can't say born 100%.
Yeah.
Because even when you're born, you still need to nurture, you still need to develop them. Even the greens, they have to nurture those greens.
Mm.
Because otherwise, then it can be so excessive as well. Because you can say, okay, everybody to go home, you're all sick, then what will happen? So you continue learning how to become better. Nerea, to your question, there's a correlation between personality and leadership to a very great extent. All we need to do is to nurture those traits effectively, those personality traits, so that our leadership can get better. When a leader gets better, everybody gets better.
Mm. That is profound. Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel like we've gotten 3 masterclasses in one mentorship session just by being here for the hour. Thank you so much, Lillian. I'll just show you the comments that have come in. Jose is saying thank you, Lillian.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we have one of the audience saying we learn and unlearn too.
Very true.
JP says, thank you both so much for this meeting. I appreciate your insights and inspiration. Thank you,
Thank you.
JP.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Lillian, this one is directly for you. Noeline from Bura, she says, I'd love to hear from Lillian how she successfully maintains her work-life balance and family responsibilities as a senior leader.
Amazing. Wow. I was hoping this question is not going to come back, but yeah, so let's deal with it. Wow, Bura. This is an interesting one. Bura, what happens is, I think, like I said before, those who started with us,
Mhm.
I'm in Kisumu County as we speak, meaning I was in Nairobi in the morning. And here, I'm here to work. Meaning, at the end of the day, I'm far from the family. Let me go back to a question. How do you successfully handle how do you carry or conduct yourself, or how do you manage the work-life balance? What I do is, I knew very well, intentionally, I will not be here today. I'll be in this other county. Therefore, yesterday, what you do, Bura, and I believe this is Fia, she's female, I can see a photo. What you do as a mother, Bura, and I see this is the question, I'm trying to not to be so gender insensitive. What happens is you'll be asked, so what time do you have with family? What time do you have with kids? And those kind of questions, Bura. Allow me to say, Bura, when your life is intentionally lived, you'll make those room for those kind of scenarios. So like yesterday, I ensured I'm with the kids very early because they know you won't be there tomorrow. Noeline, for me, what has happened or what has worked for me is having a very great support system. So you must have a support system that understands your schedule. A support system could be a house girl, could be a husband, could be a mother, whoever it is that takes care of that system of yours, number one, so that you can concentrate. Because again, I can be even for a whole week, Noeline. So if I don't have a great support system, Bura, you will suffer. You have to nurture that support system so that they can know that your work actually depends, or rather it can be chaotic. So having a great support system has worked for me. Another one is just being intentional by knowing that in the morning I can be in Nairobi and in the afternoon I can be in another county. Therefore, whenever I'm in Nairobi, I give them my all, so that even when I'm away in Olin or Bura, I'm able to still feel that balance. Where we go wrong is we get swamped into work, we forget about the family. Or we get so swamped in the family, and then you have to give excuses at work. When we plan ourselves, then it becomes easier. You can even say, for this all week, I'm going to have breakfast with the family every single morning. I will forego my maybe gym in the morning. Why do I do that? Because I know the following week, Bura, I'll be out of the country. Remember the intentionality, being deliberate. So you're already preparing them, guys. This week, I'm forgoing my gym, or I'm forgoing my maybe whatever it is that you do in the morning, so that we can have breakfast as family. Because the next week I'll be away, maybe outside the country. Bora, you have to live an intentional life. You have to be deliberate about having these three or two worlds, actually two worlds thriving. You can strike a balance. You can have a thriving world on both sides. I don't believe one world should suffer for the other world. I subscribe to that setup of being intentional about bringing the family life together with the corporate side, even at
Mm.
that level. I hope
Thank
I answered you, Bura. I hope I answered you. But I don't mind taking Bura offline just to coach her and see what you can do together.
Thank you. Thank you for offering, Lillian. We have Victor saying, thanks, Lillian. Very insightful.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor.
And then we have Bura has confirmed and she says, thank you so much.
Karibu, Bura.
Bura, I will follow up with you to make sure you reach out to Lillian so you can connect on that a little more.
I would love to do that.
Thank you, Lillian. Then we have a question, and we are going to make this one the last question. I am getting the sense that, Lillian, we can go on and on and on and on with you. So we're going to make this one the last one. Can you recommend any books or resources that have influenced your growth?
Wow. There are so several, Vincent. But one that really stood out for me, and I can always read it, maybe even, I don't know, several times, is for me, is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Charlene. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That has really made me, whatever you want, go for it. And that is now what I was talking about, the intentional living. Just go for whatever you want to do, Vincent. As vulnerable as you are, dive in. Even that leadership, not like we were prepared. We felt a bit, no, but I'm underaged. I'm only this. No, no, but I've not acquired this particular experience. No, no, no. But the people, you're always doubting yourself. When you read that book, it opens your thinking. You'll dive into whatever the situation. Yeah, so there are several, I may not be able to name, but that one really stands out for me. And I really give it to most of my mentors and coaches that I do have, just to give them that confidence that it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. When you dive in, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then also Everybody Matters. I think that is more of HR, but not HR because everybody should read it, because it's more of Everybody Matters. Embrace one another for our organizations to thrive, by Bob Chapman. Is also a very good book. Whereby everybody matters, irrespective whether it's a gate man, whether it's the CEO, it does not matter. At the end of the day, like I said, we are not defined by our ranks, we are not defined by our titles, we are defined by how we make others feel, the legacy that you are nurturing right now today, what you're doing and what you're leaving behind. How many lives are you inspiring at in organizations? How many people are inspired to come to work because of you, one particular leader? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lillian, for that. Vincent, giving you an assignment to type for us in chat the book recommendation, that Lillian has given. So we'll wait to see them in chat. One more comment. Yes, we could go on we definitely could. So interesting it's been. On this note, Lillian, we have a Lillian Ngala network event coming up. So tell us more about it.
Wow, okay. Nolene, you're full of surprises. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, fellow leaders who are here. So we have this forum that is coming up in next 2 weeks on 12th of September. Those who will be in Nairobi. Please make a point of joining us so that we can be able to connect, interact, and just have those to build new connections, new relationships. So what we do is we meet every 3 months. But again, out of demand, Kunolin, we are looking at meeting every month. For now, it's every 3 months. And when we meet at Lillian Ngala Network, we just interact and build those connections. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow leaders, you cannot do much with the CVs. We cannot do much with our profiles. But when we connect to one another, I'm able to know about possibilities and other opportunities that are out there. So our connection, Lillian Ngala Network, is about networking. Simple as that. It's a strategic networking hub whereby we develop one another as leaders, and even the ones who are below us, maybe middle management, they also come and join us. So don't worry about not being a C-suite or being at the lower cadre, it doesn't matter. For Ngala Network, like I said before, I'm a promoter and a proponent of building one another. You can't build one another just at the top. We also need to build ourselves sideways, upwards, and downwards. That is what Ngala is all about. So you come there, you'll find everyone, and we connect. Come on 12th at Serena Hotel at 5 p.m. The rest of the details, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn on the DM. I will give you even more details so that at least we don't get to lose anyone. If you're interested, please catch up with me at Lillian Ngala. At Lillian Ngala, yeah, that is my name on LinkedIn, and then you'll be able to connect for further details. Looking forward to hosting you. It's an amazing experience. Relationships have been forged there, professional relationships, opportunities and possibilities have opened up. We just, there's that potential that comes from one another if we tap on each other with like-minded individual. Welcome, everyone. And thank you so much, Noeline, for allowing me to share with everyone. Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You have preempted Esther Baraga's question. She's saying she's been trying to be part of the network for a minute but has not gotten feedback. Please reach out to Lillian directly. And you will be
Esther Baraga, my apologies for that. Trust me, I will connect with you first thing from here. I'm sure it's just Esther Baraga in terms of how I'll get to spot your LinkedIn. Yes, Esther, I'll connect with you tonight so that I give you more info and then we take it forward. You can also visit our website, which is www.lilliangalanetwork.com, at lilliangalanetwork.com.
I'll put it for you, Esther, on the comment section as soon as we end the call. Nerea, I see your comment also. I'll answer to that. And now we have to have a hard stop out of respect for Lillian's time. Lillian, thank you so much for making the time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sharing of your knowledge, sharing of your skills, sharing of your experience and your time. Thank you so, so much. Looking forward to meeting you on the 12th. Really, really looking forward to meeting you on the 12th. And to the audience, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hoping to see some, if not all of you, during the Lillian Ngala Network event on the 12th of September at the Serena Hotel, yes?
Yes, Serena, correct.
Yes, at 5 p.m. That said, everyone, have a fantastic evening. Have a fantastic balance of week. See you next week during the next mentorship session. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Lillian. Asante sana.
Bye.
Trying to get